What is going on, ET Nation? This is Dark Dividend. If you guys are new to my ET channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. So I still didn't get the funds yet from E-Trade to transfer to my bank account, so I can't buy IYRI yet. But I needed to be a little ruthless and really aggressive towards my dividend portfolio. What I decided to do, sell some stocks for a profit and then rebuy them. That way I could turbocharge my dividend portfolio. Yes, there are some additions with YieldMax and some of the RoundHill ETFs. Still waiting on some of the really good RoundHill ETFs to be on here. But I'm going to show you a preview of what I'm going to be doing to turbocharge my dividend portfolio. And I had to do it. It was a good move. I feel like it was a good move. I'll take a hit with capital gains. That is fine. I'm rebuying all these stocks that I sold except a few of them. I'm going to provide examples and rationales why. So if you're new to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos, smash that like button. Let's check out my dividend portfolio changes right now. So on June 9th, I did some buys and sells, and that was a total of $17,053.42, which I pretty much rebought all these same stocks, okay? I did sell some and get rid of them. I'll explain to you what I did. But it was something to turbocharge my dividend portfolio. So the first thing I did, okay, I sold U.S. Bancorp, Citizens Financial Group, Bank of America, Bank OZK, Prudential, Truist Financial Corporation, Omega Health Investors. I dropped them. I don't think I'll be buying them again. I just don't. I mean, maybe. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I may have a high yield REIT section. But no, not right now. Not a good idea. T. Rowe, Fifth Third Bancorp. So T. Rowe, I'm going to be rebuying in 30 days. Okay. So all these that I sold, I threw it into, which you'll see in a second, NVDY, LFGY, MSTY, GPTY, FBY, PLTY, NFLY, and YBTC. Now this is the RoundHill Bitcoin Covered Call Strategy ETF. So I have 63 total shares in it. This was for right now, go over that. And you'll see with the IBM, that's just my fractional share buys from some of the dividends that I received. So again, buying and rebuying, I'll show you what I'm doing with that. But I want to jump to YBTC real quick. So YBTC, the RoundHill Bitcoin Covered Call Strategy ETF, since inception in January 19, 2024, it's at 47.08. Sometimes it's been up. So it does weekly options. It does not actually have shares of the Bitcoin. And I'm going to jump to it real quick because the way it uses synthetic calls and the way Bitcoin is jumping up, this is something that I had to capitalize on. Yes, I did get rid of them. And I told you I may rebuy. This is why I tell you guys, don't follow my moves. This is for entertainment purposes only because things may change. So I have my own investing strategy. I'm just being very transparent with it. My long-term goal is to use these option income ETFs. I'll say this again. I'll use the option income ETFs to buy dividend growth stocks. So my ETF, pretty much that I made, okay, with M1 Finance, it's almost like an exchange-traded fund. You can argue it could be, but that's my pie that I created. Now, jumping to YBTC real quick. The distribution, yes, it does have a high expense ratio of 0.96%, but its distributions are pretty nice. Okay, so some weeks you'll get 40 cents, 50 cents, 42 cents, no guarantees. Okay, so you're seeing some distributions right here, 56 cents, 32, 28. Again, up and down, not a guarantee, but that will help turbocharge my dividend portfolio. Now, GPTY and LFGY are also weekly option covered call ETFs. So jumping to that, and I'll show you what also I did. I sold 3 stocks. Comcast, I don't know if it's the right time for that. Verizon, the dividend growth is terrible. In IVR, I sold. I'll probably rebuy, maybe throw it on M1 Finance. It's just not the right time. So I bought some pretty good ones and added some. So Manulife Financial Corporation, Canadian Imperial Bank, CM, Royal Bank of Canada, and then Canadian Natural Resources. And to be honest with you, the Canadian bank stocks have really good dividend growth. And versus Comcast and Verizon, I'm going to get better dividend growth in the long run. Now, yes, you know, you get the taxes on that, but honestly, I'll just give you an example of the dividend growth. I'll jump to Royal Bank of Canada and CM as well. So RY and CM I'm going to jump to. Look at this, 2017, got 62 cents, 131, 67 cents, 72. So you have some pretty good dividend growth. So I'll just start in 2020, 81 cents, 85, 87. Then in 2021, 85 cents, 95, 96, 99. You got 93, 2022, 97, 98, 102, 99. And then 2024, you got 102, 104, 105, 103, and 112. And according to Zacks, its payout ratios 44%. That's a little bit better than Verizon. It's a little bit better than Comcast. The number of dividend increases in the last 5 years is 15. The dividend growth 5 years is 6.52%, but look at that yield at 3.22%. So that's RY, or the Royal Bank of Canada. Now I'm going to jump to CM and show you the dividend growth on that. So jumping to 2022, you see distribution 64 cents, 66, 63, 62, 64, 66, 67, 69, and then it reached 71 cents. But again, with a bank stock having a payout ratio of 46%, that's pretty good. The number of dividend increases in the last 5 years is 15. Dividend growth in 5 years is 4.82%. If you bought 1 share, you made $268 with a 3.90% dividend yield. Okay, so that's pretty attractive to me with the passive income and the distribution of the bank stocks. So the Canadian bank stocks are doing pretty well. Now, may I add more? Possibly. I just like them better than some of the United States bank stocks. Now, let's go back to M1 Finance. I mean, I love One Main Holdings, and we got some of these other ones. You know, Manulife is another Canadian one. I like U.S. Bancorp. I like Truist. I like Citizens Financial Group. You know, I like Bank of America. I rebought it. Okay, Fifth Third Bancorp, Bank OZK, Prudential. Those are good ones. And then Franklin Resources has been down, Blue Owl Capital, but I got a little bit of a balance with a Canadian and American financial sector stocks. So that's one thing that I really like in having a good balance when it comes to the financial sector. You need to be a little bit more open. Just because it's a different country does not mean it's not good for dividend growth stocks. So I added the Canadian stocks. And to show you now my potential dividend income, now it's potentially $24,762.28. So I've turbocharged that, and look what happened. In 2025, this was how much I was making. I'm getting back up to there. Now I can start buying my dividend growth stocks with that, and I'm a little bit down, like 2,000. Again, that's mostly the REITs that are slowly starting to come back. So again, everything's in the positive. The big thing is with this dividend growth stocks, this is my target with 27%. And I will have my portfolio or link for you guys to have. But right here with the YieldMax ETFs, I'm not going to completely rely on them. But the thing is, and I threw RoundHill Bitcoin covered one, okay? Again, synthetic calls, there's a huge risk. Now you see over time how much I was up within NVDY. But the thing is, okay, there's things that I need to really look at and prepare for. I need to prepare for some serious firepower. Now, what I can do is not only invest in some of these high yielders to buy dividend growth stocks, because I'm going to tell you, 15, 20 years from now, I'm going to be praising the dividend growth stocks. I'm going to be praising SCHD. I've thought about adding VIG. So that's another one with a really good dividend growth, or DGRO, or I looked at that as well. And that's, or NOBL. I looked at that ETF as well. That's a pretty good dividend growth ETF. But the thing is the final thing, because I was really surprised. I know I got some hints from people from Rec Shares. They can't tell me by law, obviously, what they're going to be doing. Curve Yields has some tricks up their sleeve. Of course, YieldMax will, as always. But the competition's fierce. And this is what I'm going to be looking at distributing and putting in money for to prepare for passive income weekly. I'm going to be focusing also on the Rex WeeklyPaying growth and income ETFs. I'm going to be putting money in with them. They're adapting. They listen to us as investors. Look, I love competition. It's fierce. Even Global X is starting to have a Bitcoin ETF now. So everybody's waking up. It's an arms race to finding these weekly option ETFs. So I'm very excited for the challenges ahead. And putting money in or using MSTY or PLTY to buy dividend growth stocks, using the YieldMax ETFs to buy the dividend growth stocks, using the curve yield, I'm going to be really focusing and buying those option income ETFs, the NEOS and all them. So that's going to be my allocation. Okay, so, if a dividend growth stock sucks, sure, I'll sell it. But I can almost guarantee, and nobody told me this or told me about hints, but there's going to be a Broadcom one, probably with weekly paying growth and income ETFs. There's going to be a Palantir one. There's going to be really good ones. They're just going to keep on going. And then who else is going to counter and try to counter? RoundHill. They're going to try to counter because they have these ones right here. Okay? So their assets under management are pretty strong right now. Now, they do have a high expense ratio, but this is another one. What if I add this one? Now, they have a high distribution rate, but again, you have to worry about the NAV. Okay? So it's weekly, but again, if things are looking good with Palantir, you're in pretty good shape. Don't quote me on that. I said if. Okay? Got to watch that NAV, though. And then you have IMST. And then you have all these other ones that are trying to compete. But this is an exciting time to be an investor who likes weekly distributions, who likes passive income. Now, I'm honestly do not feel confident retiring in, the Neos, the RoundHill. I'd rather have the income of these guys go straight into my dividend growth stocks. The good companies always win. The good companies always adapt. That's what's going to happen, even with all these companies that are competing. So just to be aware, this is what I'm going to be putting money in, is these weekly options ETFs. There's going to be more of them, and it's going to be great. I'm going to be allocating my funds into that. I'm going to be allocating my funds into Fundrise. I'm going to be allocating my funds into my IRA. I'm going to be allocating my funds into a health savings account. And then this is going to be game time. So again, the high expense ratio you have to be aware of. Synthetic calls you have to be aware of. But I'm just very excited for the arms race that's going on. So if you're new to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. I will have a video for you tomorrow. Take care and have a good one. And I'm going to jump to my disclaimer. So as a reminder, this is a disclaimer. Do not use my YouTube channel for any form of financial advice. It's strictly for entertainment purposes only. Investing is a big risk. You can gain money, you can lose money. So be aware and do your due diligence. Go to a financial advisor for financial advice. Go to a tax advisor for tax advice. Just being very straightforward with you. Should not follow my moves at all. I'm doing this for entertainment purposes only. I have told you things can change. So I'm just showing you what I'm doing with my investing strategy. Take care and have a good one.